everybody. So today I am going to share with you my Skyline chili dip recipe. And I'm going to be using a lot of my pantry staples. Now, this recipe came from my mother-in-law and I've completely changed it. So it's really good to be able to learn how to change a recipe so that you have your likes and dislikes. I'm going to change this angle a little bit. There we go. So she puts in diced tomatoes. I don't like chunks of tomatoes. I think she also puts in some peppers. I don't like peppers either. So we are going to start out with I got just some olive oil, and I'm probably just going to keep it on low. This is actually a really high heat burner, but it was closer to the camera. And I've got probably a large onion. Use however much onion or no onion at all that you want. And I've got probably a cup of mushrooms. Again, use the amount you want. Okay, while that's browning a little bit, I'm going to spread out the cream cheese. Normally, so if I was using fresh hamburger in this recipe, I would normally be browning my hamburger first and then I add in my mushrooms and onions. But I'm using canned hamburger from my pantry. My child's trying to open my hamburger. She doesn't know how to use the can opener yet.
Aww. I almost did it.
You almost did it. Normally I have my son do this part.
Wait, there's two?
Hey, there's 2 jars of hamburger.
I saw.
So if you're just making this for yourself, obviously you're not going to use as much onions and mushrooms as I used, and you're also going to make it to taste anyway. But for about a pie plate of the Skyline chili dip, you're going to want, I put a full package of cream cheese. That's just what we do. You don't have to put as much if you don't want to. But for about a pie plate full, you're also going to use approximately a pound of hamburger. Yeah, it's kind of a guesstimate. I kind of just end up throwing things into a frying pan and cooking it. You having fun looking at cream cheese package, girl? So it doesn't have to be perfectly layered. Just, I mean, you don't want bare spots, obviously.
How do I open this?
It does work out a little better if the cream cheese is more room temperature than I have it. I didn't take it out early enough today. So, that part's done. Okay, just a layer. And this is a normal, probably what, 9-inch pie pan, I think. And I'm literally only just cooking the onions a little bit so that they're not too crazy crunchy and strong in flavor. We're gonna cook 2. There's a lot of us to eat, aren't there?
I got this one out for you because you don't make 2.
Yes, I'm gonna make 2.
That's why I got that out.
Okay.
Over here. Okay, let's go here.
Alright. Now, hamburger. I canned it. Yeah, there's a little layer of fat because I didn't drain it out quite as much as I should have, but it was the very first time I had ever canned hamburger. Makes it super convenient, super easy for when you have lots of children. When you have a last minute meal. But I mostly just wanted to show you how to use your canned meats that you might have. Probably should have drained a little of that off. And then what I'm draining is actually just water. So it's not gonna hurt the final product. If you're using fresh hamburger, you're gonna want to drain off all that liquid that comes out of it. And then put your mushrooms and onions in.
Okay. I'm trying to make another pie.
You're trying to make another pie.
Yes! I'm trying to get a fire on. But I can't open it. I'm trying to...
Actually, it looks like I'm probably not going to put that second jar in just yet. I might after, just so that we have a little extra. But it doesn't look like I need it. I think that'll make 2 pie plates full. And this isn't all that we have for supper. They'll eat this as their main plate. And then they've got a whole bunch of food in the middle of the table that they all devour. So I'm just making it warm. Mostly all broken up for me. Alright, don't do that. It's mostly already broken up from me browning it before I canned it.
Mom, which way do you go?
Oh, you don't need to open it right now. I'm just pretty much incorporating all the onions in there. Getting it warm. And it doesn't take too long to warm it up because it is already at room temperature when because it's been stored in the kitchen. This is, instead of using diced tomatoes at this point, like my mother-in-law would use, I use tomato sauce. It's just plain old tomato sauce. That's it. And we're going to have to clean up this lovely stove again. And this one is a 15 ounce. Depending upon how much you make, depends upon how much you need. I actually probably will need a second, but, or at least part of a second. And yeah, definitely. As you can see, there's not tomato sauce in every single thing right now. You might be able to see it. There you go. Sort of. There. So, you might be able to that might make it easier. Still getting used to this tripod. Haven't figured out all the tilting and everything yet. So definitely.
Open the can.
We'll open the can in a minute, Teddy. So in order to show you, that definitely does not have enough tomato sauce in it. Please go. We have a can opener.
I was trying to think about that.
You were trying to figure out how to use it?
But I didn't have a can. I don't have a can.
Okay. We're just letting this simmer a little bit too. A little bit of liquid left from the jar. I forgot to drain off. So this will simmer for a little while, just partially because I didn't drain off that liquid as well as I should have. Silly me, all these distractions. They still eat it, no matter how much I distract them, or they distract me. Okay, the other thing we are adding is chili seasoning. I try to keep this in my pantry. We use it a lot. I was actually trying to get that subscribe and save Amazon going, and they keep running out of stock. So I can't seem to find a great big amount of it. This is why my stove's got to be cleaned all the time. And one pack is not going to do it for the amount I've done. Again, to your own flavoring, but it's not going to do it for us. Simmer, simmer, simmer away. Kids absolutely love this. One of them saw that I had gotten a good part of the ingredients tonight, and I didn't even have to. She's like, yep, that's what I want for supper, Mom. And then I gave one of the boys, though, the only boy, a choice of this or something that I had already planned. He's like, well, yeah, this. This is a great way to keep up your pantry staples for when you're preparing, or for when you're thinking about, okay, what do I need for supplies for my goal amount of time. And this is, you kind of think of how much you're going to use and what you're going to use. And you know, that's changing like all the time for us. I mean, first time ever canning meat, or hamburger at least. I had never even thought about canning hamburger before. I'll probably do a session on it within the next day or two, I hope, with my small canner, because this is my last jar. But I had only canned so much because we didn't know if we'd like it. And turns out we do. We like it for certain things. I might put a little bit in spaghetti. It's kind of smells a little bit different than like fresh hamburger. You obviously can't use it in meatloaf. You can't make a hamburger patty, but you can throw it in tacos and mix it in with some baked beans or rice, and of course Skyline chili dip. There, I think I'm going to let that settle in so that I can show you how to put it together. And I didn't even end up tasting to see if I have enough chili in there. Not too bad. Probably could use another packet, but eh. So, it could use to be a little thicker than this. A good part of that was my fault. I didn't rinse or drain. You know, if you like other things to add to this, do it. You could probably add refried beans or, I don't know, any other vegetable you want to hide in there. Sometimes I put dehydrated veggies in things to hide.
Mom. Mommy.
Buddy.
Can I talk louder?
They can hear you anyway, dear. Now, cheese, I'm putting mozzarella cheese in mine. Tripping over stuff. I put mozzarella cheese in on top of mine, but you can use cheddar, you can use Monterey Jack. So you don't want too crazy amount of that either, because when you go to eat it, the chips will break into it. You really don't want your chips to break. I'm actually going to microwave it just to show you. You can, I just put it in for 2 minutes. I'm just going to kind of peek at it. I do have my stove on so that I can cook the rest in the oven. I have it at 375. It takes maybe 10 minutes to cook in the oven. Pretty much what you're looking for is for that cream cheese to be warm, to be possibly bubbling, well, bubbles a little bit, and that mozzarella cheese to melt. And then the adults tend to just eat it out of the pie plate. The kids, I will actually dish some up in their plate and with some chips on the side. And then they eat that as a main meal. But they have like a bazillion optionals in the middle of the table, so after they're done eating, they get all these optionals. It's like a buffet every night. Or a potluck every night. We do like that for breakfast and for lunch to a lesser degree. 50 seconds. That warmed up a little. Is that what I made with that quart full of hamburger and with those onions and mushrooms? We'll do probably 3 pie pans full of Skyline chili dip. You can stretch out your meat a little bit more if you want to by adding more veggies or less veggies if you don't want to stretch it out and you want to have all kinds of meat. But I absolutely love having that hamburger in the pantry for taco nights and for Skyline chili dip nights. And just to kind of have that extra protein in my preps, as well as why not buy it when it's cheaper and prep it for when you need it. So, chips are here. Any corn chip. I think my in-laws, well, I know my in-laws use Doritos as well. So, you just, whoop. Nope, you can't see it there either. So, just dipping into it. I got the cream cheese a little bit in there. I've got the mozzarella and all my hamburger and sauce and stuff. I'm not going to taste this on camera because that would be really hot. I can see the steam going off it, and I don't want sandpaper towel. So, it's pretty simple. Great way to use up some of your preps. Great way to use up your canned goods that you've canned up. And hopefully I can give you some more ideas of using your canned foods.